say to a game of tennis?
Come on, Grandma.
Okay, I'll get my racket. On second thought, I think I better sit this one out.
You crapped your pants again, didn't you?
I just don't feel confident.
Look at this, Jack. Here we are. It's Oops, I Crapped My Pants. You see, it's got a big pad. Unlike my DOJ, these don't leak.
How do you know so much about Oops, I Crap My Pants?
I'm wearing them, and I just did.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Joe Biden, where is my chair? Bizarre moment when Jill covers her mouth as Joe suddenly bends down during the 80th anniversary D-Day speech. Joe Biden bent over to sit in a imaginary chair. We kid you not. It is really something, a devastating video. We now mentioned it 3 times. Let's go ahead and play the video. Here's Joe Biden trying to get into a chair. Some say this is Joe Biden pooping. I don't know. Let's go.
Distinguished guests, please welcome the Honorable Lloyd J. Austin.
What is he doing? Play it again. Watch Biden. What is he doing?
Distinguished guests, please welcome the Honorable Lloyd J. Austin.
What? You know what? I have a long cable here. Here. Like, there's no chair behind me. All right. If I'm bending over during the show, would you call a doctor? My wife watched this show. Would you call a doctor if I suddenly started like bending over to try and sit in something live during the show? Would you call a doctor? Yeah, you should. I'm having an episode. I'm seeing things, or I feel faint, or something's wrong, ladies and gentlemen. And something's terribly, terribly wrong with Joe Biden. Some said that he, that he might have been having a very senior moment or a bowel movement on stage. Here's what we know. From stem to stern, the whole thing was incredibly awkward and incredibly embarrassing for our nation. Again, these are the D-Day ceremonies. Like, dude, seriously? Joe Biden will be the last president that we have that was alive during World War II. Like, Joe Biden, I think he was born in 44, 43. Get me that. Joe Biden was born technically the silent generation era, right? And so this should mean something to him. Oh, 42. Okay, so he was born in 1942. World War II ends in 1945, and so Joe Biden again would be very, very small, but nonetheless can say that he was part of that. He's the last president ever that we'll have that can say he's part of that, and yet here we have his super weird arrival at the D-Day ceremonies in France. What's he doing here? These are the beaches. These are the Normandy beaches. He's just scowling with his hands at his sides. What's he doing exactly? The whole thing is just undignified. It's an embarrassment. These are some of the most sacred. This is some of the most sacred, hallowed ground on earth. And here's Joe Biden can't even stay through the ceremony. So these ceremonies go on. And there's all these survivors, right? There's all these World War II veterans there, survivors of either D-Day, World War II veterans. I'm not exactly sure what the guest list is. Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg's there. There's a bunch of senators, members of Congress that are there. I know Ted Cruz is there. And Joe Biden can't even remain on stage. Here's Jill having to Jill literally dragging Joe off the stage during the ceremony. So wait, like the president of France is now stepping in to do the American president's job by greeting our service members? You realize what you just like witnessed there? The president of France is like having to greet the service members, take the challenge coins from these old men who all have to be in their like 90s or 100 years old. They have to be at least 90 to 100. Some of them well into their hundreds of years old. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing is a total embarrassment to the country. Again, not exactly certain that it could be, more embarrassing. I'm not sure we could be in a worse situation. There are clips of the speech though, where Joe Biden is effectively communicating. I'm not sure if we have these loaded up. I want to make sure that we get this. Do we have this loaded up? Joe Biden talking about how the Ukraine war is the new World War II. Like, we were allied with Russia in World War II, right? You didn't realize that, right? Do you know anything? Have you studied any of it? Like that's actually how we won World War II. Like Russia actually suffered virtually all the losses of the nations that fought in World War II. Like Russia, like considerably fought, like and did the very most to solve that problem. I'm not saying they're the good guys, just saying that is what it is. And yet Joe Biden during his speech, if you can call it that, is like saying, "Oh yeah, like Ukraine is just the same as World War II." Wait, what? No. No. Let's go ahead and grab that clip. Hot Mike, my advanced team said I got to be the first one to leave. Okay, let's have a listen.
My advanced team said I got to leave, be the first one to leave because I called people up.
Dude never knows where he is. Dude never knows what he's talking about. And the dude has absolutely had adult diaper moments on camera. We have them cataloged here. So there was a couple of times that this has happened. One, on MSNBC Live, Joe Biden pooped his pants.
Mr. President.
This is bona fide. We know this for a fact. All right, because Joe Biden's done a lot of interviews. This was a live interview, and this is why it's so dangerous to do live interviews with Joe Biden. In mid question, Joe Biden just gets up, takes his microphone, doesn't take it off. He literally walks off with his microphone and walks really quickly off set. So fast that the cameraman has to like zoom the camera out because he's like, what's Joe Biden doing here? Watch.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Nicole, I
much.
appreciate
It's great to have you. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around here. We'll have reaction and.
What's he doing? Like, why would you do that? And with that clip is cut way too short. The 1 minute long version of that clip, you can see that the anchor there, Nicole Wallace, is in the middle of asking Biden a question, and he just gets up and leaves. What is that? Joe Biden on the White House lawn doing this really strange crouching stance that, of course, every parent knows. Also the same stance that he did during the D-Day ceremony, right? There you go. What is he doing exactly? Joe Biden walked up to a bunch of White House cameras and said, "My butt's been wiped." There is no other explanation for what he's saying here.
What must be what? What must be what? What must be what?
All right. Do we have the Joe Biden at Normandy clip? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and play this because it's pretty cringe, but also so humiliating to the people who lost their lives in Normandy. Do you have somebody in your family who lost their lives in World War II, or in any of the D-Day beaches or raids? Like these kind of things, really powerful and something that many families obviously venerate with great honor. And so to abuse those legacies for modern day political purposes is a abhorrent thing to do. Here's Joe Biden doing it.
They've inflicted on the Russian aggressor, they've suffered tremendous losses in Russia. The numbers are staggering. 350,000 Russian troops dead or wounded.
Well, like, dude, like, I know you might not like it, okay? I know you might not like it. And I'm certainly no fan of the Soviet Union. I'm an anti-fan of the Soviet Union. But historic realities is that the vast majority of the losses during World War II were suffered by the Russian people, and that the Russian people were directly allied with America. That's why Stalin was at Yalta with FDR and Churchill. So to use a World War II ceremony as like time to brag about dead Russians is really bad. It's just a really tough look. And anybody who had any sense of decency would like maybe take the day off on that, right? Like take the day off, or maybe take the war off, which would of course be our contention here at the Benny Show. Like maybe like stop sending our young men and women to the slaughter for nothing. Maybe peace in our time is what we should be asking for. And that is what we ask for in this program. Like, we don't want our sons and daughters to go die in some far off desert somewhere fighting for some country that doesn't want democracy. Our country doesn't even have democracy. All right, maybe we start here, right? Let's try the democracy stuff here and stop locking up our presidential candidates. Maybe let's try peace. For my entire life, America has been at war, mainly because we've been led by cowards like Joe Biden, who's a total draft dodger. Bush, who's a draft dodger. Kerry wanted to be president. He's a guy who burned all of his medals, right? And threw them over the White House fence. He's a coward. Bill Clinton's a draft dodger. Whatever happened to the men of service? You remember, we had a much better country when people like Ike Eisenhower, Richard Nixon, John Kennedy, people who served in the Great Wars, when those people led this place. And we had a much better country when a man who believed that war was evil and that peace should be the aim was in charge of this country. Just a quick and refreshing palate cleanser of Donald Trump on D-Day and in France, and the difference that a single president makes.
They were young men with their entire lives before them. They were husbands who said goodbye to their young brides and took their duty as their fate. They were fathers who would never meet their infant sons and daughters because they had a job to do. And with God as their witness, they were going to get it done. They came wave after wave, without question, without hesitation, and without complaint. More powerful than the strength of American arms was the strength of American hearts. These men ran through the fires of hell, moved by a force no weapon could destroy. The fierce patriotism of a free, proud, and sovereign people.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something that is very interactive on this program right now. I have a clip for you. I have the comment section right here in front of me. We're always watching the chat. I'm with you in the chat. We are together in a movement, okay? I'm watching you live right now, okay? There's your comment right there. We'll put them up. We'll put the comments up. I'm going to play you a clip of Joe Biden, and I need you to comment what's going on with him. Tell me what you think is going on with this man in this moment. I'm married to a medical professional, and she can't quite figure out what's happening. There was a moment where Joe Biden was on stage live on CNN. Now, it wasn't a military event, okay? It was far less disgraceful to our national honor, but Joe Biden was on stage during an event, and suddenly he just goes like this. rocket mans. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening here. I can show you reporting from yesterday that Joe Biden is beginning to start to, people are starting to say that Joe Biden's freezing up in the White House. Comment with me, and we'll roll the comments through. What is happening to Joe Biden in this clip? It's about 2 years old. Okay, here we go.
About that, with just in terms of inflation, because you had told us at a town hall, I think it was in July, that this was just near-term inflation. The Wall Street Journal recently talks to 67 financial experts who said that they saw high inflation going all the way or deep into 2022.
What's going on there? Now, you'll notice that the CNN cameraman, I worked in cable news and I worked in corporate news. I know what's going on backstage. They're like, what the hell is he doing? I don't know. What the hell is he doing? What's going on? We're not sure. Quick, cut to another angle. It makes him look bad. We'll play it beside me here. Keep the comments rolling in. We'll play it beside me here. What's going on? He was pooping. What was he? Was he's being boosted with drugs? Have you ever seen anyone do that? We got toddlers, so I have seen toddlers go into their funny little stances. Every parent knows what that means. Is it a stroke? Right. What's going on here? Dementia is progressing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. You don't know. Something terrible's happening to the dude. And Anderson Cooper tries to play it off, but because it was live and because this was relatively early in, they didn't know how to deal with this dementia patient. They didn't know how to cut around it. They've now learned how to cut around this stuff. What's this guy going to do? We got to debate. We got to debate in 20 days. 20 days live on CNN. I guess he has a podium to grab then. But what's, again, I'll stop. But I'll stop. But good example, right? What's going on there? What's going on? And when you see him do stuff like this, I'm just going to play it one more time. This is Joe Biden from moments ago in France, using those same stiff arms to try and find a chair that doesn't exist. So creepy. One more time. Here we go.
Distinguished guests, please welcome the Honorable Lloyd J. Austin.
And then you can see Jill there, the night nurse, is holding, Jill is trying to be get up, get up, get up, there's no chair. There's no chair. As her makeup, Alice Cooper, just runs down her face. Tough, man. It's a tough look for the country today. It's a tough look. A commentary on World War II soldiers. Let's grab that guy. Let's get that guy that talked about the country that he no longer recognizes. This is really, really important. Alex, there are two clips that we're gonna grab here because they're very important, and I want to give these guys some dignity. I don't want to just use Joe Biden to disgrace their memories, and give them a little airtime, and then also let the guys actually explain themselves and what they see happening to this country right now. So, a World War II veteran who's going viral over saying, I don't recognize my country anymore. And imagine fighting for a place and being willing to give your entire life for it, and then being of old age where you should be able to sit back and enjoy what's the fruits of your sacrifice. And then you get what? Hamas encampments all over the nation. Your presidential candidates being locked up. I thought that was why we. Wait a second. I thought that was why we Wasn't that the point of fighting World War II? They were locking up political prisoners and making other parties illegal in Europe, right? Wasn't that what we were doing here? Now we got J6ers in prison. Are we the baddies, as they say? Look at this. Listen to this poor war hero here. His name's Rondo Sharp, World War II veteran, talking about how he feels like a foreigner in the United States, in his country. Oh, man. Get your blood moving, man. Listen to this.
The real truth?
Yeah.
I feel like a foreigner in my own country lots of times, and I don't like it. It makes my heart real heavy. And I just hope we can pull out of this. There's too much Hollywood going on in Washington all the time. The important subjects they don't cover. So the thing is, I hope all the guys will rally up and we'll go back and straighten it all out.
Talking about going and like doing a D-Day beach situation in his own country. Is that what the guy's saying? Does he have a right to say that? Are you going to prosecute him, Merrick Garland? I can't wait for the knock on that guy's door. How dare you, insurrectionist? You are a Nazi, is what they'd call him. Remember, that's exactly how this all works. Okay? One of the saddest quotes I ever saw was that America spent the lives and fortunes of their best men fighting some of the worst ideologies on earth, which are undoubtedly true, irrevocably true, only to become like dumber versions of those ideologies, only to become like a society obsessed with race, racial fanatics as we are in this country. But like the opposite, but like swung the opposite. It's wrong this way. It's wrong this way. It's incredible. There's so many examples of it. We don't have the time to mention them all. But it's the same with the Soviet Union, right? Like we fought Stalinism and we fought Stalinism. Stalin's bad. We spent all this time, all this money, all this treasure fighting Stalin. Think about how much more rich we would be, right? If we didn't have to fight the Soviet Union. So we didn't have to dump all the money down the black holes. Think about where our national debt would be. But we had to beat Marxism, didn't we? Right? Had to beat Marxism, had to beat Soviet Union. For what? Oh, well, you see, Stalin, he locked up his political enemies and persecuted their supporters and then used federal law enforcement to crack down on any ideology that he didn't approve of. Oh, and then he locked his people into camps, you see. They called them gulags. We would call them COVID containment centers. And he did so with the federal authority. No, it wasn't constitutional, but it's for your health, you see. Like, we've just become the dumber versions of the ideologies that, like, all these great men went to fight. It's such a disgrace, their legacy. If you're living today and you're listening to this, this is actually how you honor these men, is by reversing, becoming the ideologies that they went to fight. And even if you want to come fast forward to modern wars, the young men, women who went to go fight in the theaters of the wars on terror, they went there to try and fight like dark ages religious zealotry. But this is precisely what the modern day left has created: a cult, a fetishized religious cult that demands fealty to their deeply dark diktats. They really are like woke ISIS. In true form. We have a library of video content from the Hamas hole encampments. We can show you American ISIS. We can show you these people, woke ISIS. So like we've just become like worse, like dumb, like really sad, really cringy versions of these wicked ideologies that we went out to fight. Now it's time to fight them here. It's why a president swears on a Bible, foreign or domestic. I'm going to fight those enemies, foreign or domestic. And he swears on that Bible. And so, through the power of Christ, I'll let him win, because I can't see more videos like this. I can't see more videos like this man sobbing in his Marine uniform saying, you've wasted the country that we gave you. Watch. You have a heart of stone if that does not move you emotionally. I am not a man who weeps or cries, but if you don't feel mist in your eye watching that clip and recognizing that the 30, 50 million criminal aliens that come tearing into this place, red carpet rolled out to them by Joe Biden so that he can, as quickly as possible, extra constitutionally rid them of anything that would stop them from preventing voting an election, from scooping up Social Security, Medicaid, from disgracing, quite frankly, simply by the nature of the rule breaking and affront to that man's sacrifice. That's what he's talking about. And when that guy cries, that's what he's talking about. Like, what he's talking about is the ungrateful destruction of this country that was built by much better men, inherited by a despicable ruling class who did nothing to preserve what they had been gifted, but instead set about, like all vandals do, taking graffiti and Molotov cocktails and planks and wood and bats to the cathedral of this place. And like all Neanderthalic, low information vandals, they see something beautiful and they just have to destroy it. That man handed a beautiful country off to the next generation that his generation so deeply sacrificed for on this day, June the 5th, D-Day, June the 6th, D-Day. And D-Day was just one of many, many days of that war, but it was a great day. And the best that we can possibly offer to you, sir, and I'll do so with, here's a photo of one of our events, us at one of our events in South Carolina during the presidential primary. I got to meet this World War II veteran, and perhaps your family is watching today. 98 years old, 95, 98 years old, big-time Trump supporter. And here's our promise to you. Our promise to you is that we are not here to strip mine this place or to destroy it. We are not here to try and get what's ours and then leave, or to try and shell this place off to a ungrateful, degenerate group of people who don't care about your sacrifice, who desecrate actually your memorials. Something that's never remembered. Maybe ALX, you can grab these photos. The desecration of the World War II memorial by Antifa. Just an important reminder. During the Antifa riots of DC, they targeted the World War II memorial, and it's something worth remembering today. And they vandalized it. They graffitied it. And they made sure to spray that off as quick as possible, and that's fine, good on them. But I remember that that's the monument that the Antifa attacked. Antifa, anti-fascist. Oh, okay. Let's go after the people who defeated the Nazis. The most dangerous form of fascism, I guess, from an academic standpoint, we've ever seen. So let's go after those people. It shows you like the troglodytical, like orc-like thinking of these mongoloids who make up now the power structure of the modern day left. Helps you fight, helps you understand what you're fighting. And so here's what I promised to you. Here's what I promised to that man. Here's what I promised to the man in the video and to everyone. We're fighting. We'll dig our heels in right here in this dirt. It's our dirt. Okay, we were born here, and we're not going anywhere. And our role is to preserve this place for our children and for the next generation, and to not just strip mine it, but to make it a better country and to leave it a better country, because this is actually the charge. This is a godly charge to all generations, is to provide and to give. When your children ask for bread, don't give them a snake. And the snake would proverbially be handing them a culture run by these orcs, these Marxists, by this horde, and we intend defeating them. We don't want to lose as America first. We're going to win as America first, and we're going to defeat these people. We're going to shame them. We're going to call them what they are. They're Stalinists. We're going to call them to their faces and then humiliate them on TV. We're going to go after and disgrace them, and we're going to fight. And we're not going to like mule and worry and wring our hands and send strong word tweets. We're actually going to do our part, just like you did your part. Of course, in a much more humble way, right? We have no great war to fight. I suppose ours is a culture war, if you wish to even play on those terms. We're not trying to compare the two. We're just trying to say that every generation has their part and their time and their moment, and that's actually God's calling on you. It has nothing to do with us. God chose when we were born. All right, could have put you on the beaches of D-Day, could have put me on the beaches of D-Day, or he could have put us in the 1890s, right? Also, no great war. So it is what it is. God's timing for you is perfect. He put you here in a place and a time to fight his battles, and that's what we're going to do. And so that's it. I mean, I guess that's the best that I can sum up what we do at this program. Just sear it in the back of your minds here. D-Day Memorial. Check it out. Oh, wow. Do black vets count? Got it? They're so smart, these people. Are y'all not tired yet? There's the Lincoln Memorial. Desecrated for Black Lives Matter. Got it? The statue of George Washington also desecrated. There you go. They also wrote on the gold wall with all the golden stars of the D-Day Memorial. You ever been there? They have the gold stars, and each star represents 3,000, 5,000, something like that, men who died. I'm not sure the number. It's been a while since I've been there. But each gold star represents a certain number of men who died during World War II, and they desecrated that element of the memorial to their abounding and great shame. And remember, Nancy Pelosi put on a kente cloth, got down on her syphilitic, arthritic knees, and then prayed to these people and worshiped them. Keep that in mind during World War II as you think about and consider the much greater men who sacrificed much greater than you or I probably shall ever for this nation. We tend to think that, like, we're just lucky and we inherited this place. No, man. People built it and then gave it to us to keep. Right? A republic, if you can keep it, says Ben Franklin. And so there it is. Which side are you on? Are you on the side? And this final thing I'll say on this, I don't want to try my hardest. This kind of things pull at the heartstrings. Are you on the side of the lady who kneels down to the people who desecrate World War II monuments? Okay, that's one side. Or are you on the side of the man who honors those veterans and who stands in honor with them? Here's Donald Trump in Normandy, standing, not sitting, or not reaching for invisible chairs, or not running off the stage, not being dragged by his wife off the stage, standing there in solemn honor with them. Which side are you on? Okay, there's your choice. There's your choice. Okay.